like to welcome everybody to the HTML5 meetup in beautiful Dallas, Texas. Hope everybody had a good set of holidays. I know I did. And today, I'm going to be having a short little presentation here. And this is the topic, responsive email design. Our main speaker, Eric So, will be talking about responsive design for developers. So my little presentation here is for the hybrid developer. The person has to do design plus development. And so responsive email design is mostly front end. Why would you want to do it? 47% of email opens are on mobile devices. The source where I got this from, emailclientmarketshare.com. If you hit that site, they have ongoing numbers on what is going on with the how email is being opened with devices. This number is as of September. But when you go to the website, it's been updated to December. So it's ongoing. That's generally the number. Another reason, 80% of people delete an email if it doesn't look good on their device. Because of course, there's the 4-letter S word, spam. Right? If it looks like spam, just get rid of it. And that is the average number of times a person looks at their mobile device, 150 times a day. Glance. Hopefully they're not driving a vehicle. I see a lot looking at the mobile device. So responsive design, I mentioned this quite a bit last year. Responsive design is actually a fluid layout, uses percentages instead of widths. Widths tend to be fixed. So the effect is when the size of the browser window changes, the design adapts to the window sizes. Probably all of you have been doing it forever. Just always changing your browser window, so that's why I call it responsive design. And what is actually happening now is more adaptive design, almost keeping the same name as responsive design. Media queries. Media queries is probably one of the most powerful things that is going on with HTML5. And what you can do with media queries. Basically, you add changes to the CSS for a particular width. For email, it would be in the head of documents. Usually for a website, this is an image of a WordPress website. I work on WordPress quite a bit. It would be as a separate page. This is an example of the code in a separate page, basically portrait for a smartphone. That is I guess the traditional or the classic piece of code that we use the reference to the link to the style sheet. When you're doing it for email, you have the HTML after the title and the head of the document. Very straightforward, real simple. For the developer, this is no big set of news. The designer, well, this is where you begin. So it's after the title, you put in your style heading, and in the red there you got rules. So the first rule you can really put in is your media query. This is a shortened form of the media query at media query screen, and then you have your maximum width. You don't really need to specify a minimum width, as the mobile browsers have gotten a lot smarter. And so you have it in between style tags. What is possible with responsive email design? Most of you have probably experienced this. You're looking at something, either there's a before, where you usually have to pick it open, or if it's 960, all you get is like a corner. or you get part of the image because it's a fixed 960 scale. With the after here, for those of you in the back who might have a little trouble reading it, you can change your hierarchy, you can change your navigation, you can enlarge your fonts, you can change your colors, change your layout, you can scale your images, you can add padding, and you can change or hide content. So a few of the rules that are in there, that's your basic code. In this example, I used table. Now, with the designers, they say, no, you shouldn't use tables, no, you shouldn't use tables. Well, if you use tables correctly, most developers know how to use tables correctly. They don't necessarily use it for styling, but if you have a lot of data, you'll want to put it into a table. Now, this is what makes it so powerful now, is that with the media query, you've already addressed what it's going to look like in a device. So you have the table, navigation, and it's not really important because of the we don't know what device we'll be looking at, whether it's a smartphone, a tablet, or even up to 60-inch HD TV. That's the code to enlarge your fonts. You have the body header. We're getting into that a little bit later. This one is enlarge the fonts. Change colors. You have in the cell, the TD, you have body copy. You can put in whatever color you want. You can use either letters, or you can use the alphanumeric coloring system. You can also add padding. So in the body, you can add padding to the 15 pixels. It's not really important because, of course, it will always adjust to the device that is being viewed on. You can change or hide content. That is the little piece of code there for the cell, and then make a class and the display. The HTML5. So this is in the body of the document itself. It's fairly straightforward. The CSS has to equal the type of container or element within HTML5. So in this example, it filled it in. You have the cell, the body header, font size, and then within the table itself, the body within the table, the table row, cell, you have the alignment, and the big thing is, of course, the TD is the cell and the class, body header. It's pretty straightforward. If you're a developer and you've done HTML5 in the past, yeah, pretty straightforward. Now, the supported apps with responsive design, like anything else in the HTML5, it's new. So these are the 5 devices that we know that it works on. iOS Mail, Android, Windows Phone 7.5, and the BlackBerry devices. Now, this is where it gets really a little bit strange, because these are the unsupported apps responsive design. Gmail doesn't do responsive design in any format, and Windows is the big surprise. So Windows Phone 7, Windows Phone 8 does not do responsive design, but 7.5 does do responsive design. Kind of have to decide on that. And of course, the BlackBerry, that's an older version. Okay, and that's basically it. The responsive design. My next little presentation will be on responsive images. That is also one of the things that we do with email design. However, if you have a website and you have large images, you don't necessarily want to put them into anybody's smartphone, especially if they're on.
Forgive me, I'm just wondering, why are we using tables instead of like div sections for the changes in the style of
Oh, because you can.
Just okay.
Yeah, just because you can. Because if you use div, you can use whatever content you want in your HTML file. The important part is the media query and how you use those media queries. They're quite flexible. Tables, there's always been problems with tables. So tables are now, with the media queries, tables are now a lot more flexible. There's also a workaround if you have a large table with lots of items. You might move on to frameworks like jQuery. So, any more questions?
Well, actually, I've made a comment on tables. One of the more traditional reasons for not using a table was that a lot of browsers used to take a lot of time to render a table. And the more rows you had in it, the longer it would take. And sometimes that would actually slow the page down to the point where you actually had a negative impact on whoever was using it.
Yeah, because, well, especially if you have slow bandwidth, if it takes more than 3 seconds, now these days, there's a 40% chance that they'll click. If it's 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was mainly the browser.
Yeah.
The browser couldn't render it too well.
Yeah.
You know, some of the newer browsers are very good at it. Like, well, I'm thinking of Firefox is very fast on that. Internet Explorer was notoriously slow on doing it. You know, things like that.
Also, the machines have gotten faster too.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's like we're finding with some of the JavaScript. If you look at JavaScript in the browser, that's where your machine speed becomes a lot more important. If you have a quad core, you're going to have a different speed than a dual core. Is there any other comments, questions? Is the pizza good? Well, thank you very much. And we'll be having someone from we'll have Eric later on, and Sanjay will be out here in just a second. Thank you.
I do have a question. You said that Gmail is not supported on iOS. Is it supported on Android, or just both Android and iOS?
It's not supported in Gmail, but it's supported on Android.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, like on KitKat. KitKat's probably.
Any solutions for using responsive design for those applications? There's no way to. So they don't respond to media queries at all, or?
Which ones? The ones that are unsupported?
Yeah. Like iPhone,
Yeah.
email.
Yeah, basically, yeah. They don't really, because when they're building browsers, because HTML5 is not an official standard yet. It's coming out as modules. So some of the browsers, some of the browser makers, they'll take things out, put things up back in. I know they've done this with not just media queries, they've also done it with some of the JavaScript. They'll just take things out.
Can that be translated to the email clients that we WebKit or their core do support it?
Generally, yeah. Yeah. And they're always, they're always changing from WebKit to Android to whatever they want to do.
If they're using WebKit at their core, they should, right?
Well, you'd hope so, but now you have Firefox, iOS coming out, and
so like the Android mail, iOS mail application, that they use WebKit, so they would be able to respond to media queries, like theoretically.
Yeah. WebKit has always been doing media queries for at least the last 3-4 years. They're very early into it.
If you're worried about mail clients, there's a framework by Zerb. Anybody can help me with the name.
Foundation?
No, that's for like websites, but there's a
So, yeah, okay. Responsive design, and I guess one other reason why you might wanna do responsive design is that if you're very much into Pinterest, or your business is into Pinterest, that's where, images and infographics come in. You know, if you wanna shoot those out as, you know, in its form, you'll wanna do responsive design for your business or for what you might have going. Okay, thank you.